director of NCRT, by the former director of NCRT. He says he has written an article saying teachers walking away from the classrooms. Hope you have all read the article, which draws our attention to many areas. Of course, lots of areas, lots of concerns are there. But the first thing we have to understand is the empowering ourselves. So, as I said, the expectations from all corners are more. The empowerment, helps in such a way that, we can meet their expectations. So, reflective teaching and mentorship models must be, very helpful to each and every one of us, because after all, the outcomes, the learning outcomes have to be, met and have to be showcased or displayed as evidences. This is where we have to reflect upon our teaching, how effective it is, where we have gone. There is a kind of method, we call it triple W, WWW, what went well and what went wrong. So that is reflective, that is reflection, that is reflective teaching. So when we reflect upon our teaching, and when we come to know that there is greater improvement required, there comes the mentorship models. So there are lots of mentorship models. In fact, we have to have mentors and mentees in schools or buddy system, we call it. Lots of things are there which we have to, catch up with and empower ourselves. So let us listen to Dr. Rashmi Dua to this wonderful topic, and let's equip ourselves so that, we can meet the expectations of the management of the NEP 2020. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Let's sit back and enjoy the session. Thank you. Over to Biju sir. Biju sir, please introduce Dr. Rashmi Dua.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Rashmi Dua, an accomplished PhD holder in forensic accounting, along with postgraduate degrees in English and Commerce, is currently enriching lives at Banasthali Public School, located in Vikaspuri, New Delhi. She is renowned for introducing groundbreaking programs and fostering strong community engagement, making her a key contributor to the school's vision of holistic education. Dr. Dua's professional expertise includes designing innovative and customized curricula that address diverse learning needs. Her training sessions are not only engaging but also tailored to build skills and inspire lifelong learning. She develops comprehensive assessment tools that are instrumental in accurately measuring student progress and enhancing educational outcomes. With exceptional conflict resolution skills, Dr. Dua ensures a collaborative and positive atmosphere among faculty, staff, and students. Her mentorship guides individuals towards both academic and personal growth, instilling confidence and self-awareness. Furthermore, her unwavering commitment to promoting cultural sensitivity celebrates the beauty of diversity, ensuring inclusivity in all aspects of education. Dr. Dua's efforts extend beyond the classroom, as she actively participates in initiatives that bridge the gap between academia and community. Through these initiatives, she empowers students and parents alike, building strong connections and reinforcing the importance of education in personal and societal development. Hearty welcome, Dr. Rashmi. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Before I begin, I would like to extend my hearty gratefulness to Extra Mile Education and Training, and of course, the visionary behind it, Dr. Abdul Salam, and Viju sir, because he's the co-director, so he has also the collaboration for all these things. So two of you blending together for the growth of teachers. in the ways when we are offering these online trainings. So we as trainers were first trained, prepared for these sessions. So understanding the importance and bringing the talent to that platform so that all of us get benefited. This is really very great, sir, and thank you so much for this. And thank you for entrusting me with this important responsibility of delivering on the most important topic. I would request all the participants to please accept my request and my welcome in the way that please keep your videos on so that the interaction becomes lively. It should not be the one who is taking session. Sometimes it becomes the person is speaking to the wall. So I hope we all can continue with that. So without wasting time and energy of yours, I'll be sharing my PPT so that we can continue. So sir has already elaborated on the topic. Reflective teaching practices and mentorship models, which are aligned with NEP 2025. NEP 2020, sorry, NEP 2020. NEP 2020 is not just a document or just a policy. It actually is a greater guideline for all of us to meet the expectations of the times and to prepare the students for the future. The biggest responsibility of ours. So let's see. See, we all are learning. I'm learning with all of you together here also. So we'll be collaborative and expressive. So just a small exercise to break the ice and to understand each other and our expectations. So the word reflection, all of us, how many of us, we'll just raise hands quickly, the virtual ones, of course. How many of us look ourselves into the mirror? I definitely. So all of us, I believe, have the habit of looking into the mirror maybe multiple times. We don't even know the numbers. Thank you. Thank you, Lata ma'am, for responding. I can see Asthar Prabhuji. That's great. All of us, some are not able to raise visual ones. They're raising the original ones. That's thank you so much. So now coming to that. So reflection, when I look myself into the mirror, what I generally do is, do I just come out? Do we just come out like that? No, we look at the mirror, we analyze ourselves. And then if I supposedly we don't find that, okay, my eyes don't look better, or maybe the angle with which I should look better. So I try. So those experiments happen. So analysis happens, observation happens first. First, I just look at it, then analysis happens, then the corrections, experiments. And when I'm happy, I continue practicing that. The smile, even we observe in the mirror, and accordingly we continue with our smile. So that's what is reflection. So let's just a small, powerful, and a little emotional activity. Just a small word. You have to just type one word which talks about your mentor, any of your, maybe your HOD, maybe the coordinator, maybe the principal, maybe the school teacher from whom you studied. You just have to think. So that means think, you have to reflect back. You have to revisit your past. Think of a teacher or a mentor who shaped you the most. You see that their impact is more in your teaching. So please drop one word or phrase in chat so that you can suggest me how the person has influenced your teaching. I'm just waiting for your responses. Think of a teacher or a mentor who has brought a change. Any good, anything which you observed, that is something which you maybe you practice that, or that is something you are in awe of that person for. I am yet to see the responses. In case you wish to speak, you can just, very good. I can see assessment style, inspirational. Okay, Nurja ji says motivate. Esther Prabhuji says kind and respectful, regardless of the age. This is very beautiful thing. Bharti ji has said inspirational. Lata ma'am, assessment style. Okay, Reshma ji says the person always corrected. Then positive energy. Yes, those are the attributes which we look forward to. So somebody kind, understanding, somebody who values me for what I am and tries to make me better is my mentor. And definitely, all of us have picked a few things from them. If I talk about my mentor, the one whom I recall and practice a lot is my ex-vice principal. I've learned from many. It's not that we don't learn, every day we learn, but there are people who leave an everlasting impact in our life. So I saw her. She never said negative words to anyone in her feedback. She would not say doesn't look nice. She would ask you to reflect back with multiple questions. So see, just see, could you see the color? Is it fine? If it is about the PPT also supposedly. So do you think the presenter is visible in this, or is it connecting with the presenter? So definitely you'll start looking into the font. Do you think this font is age appropriate for us, or the content appropriate? So those were the ways. So what I'm trying to bring in is ref reflection happens when somebody guides us to find, analyze ourselves. So self-observation is something which will be very, very important. I'm coming to Salam sir's point where he said we need to empower ourselves, and NEP has real lot of planning for us. Teacher empowerment through many folds, but there are four major areas which NEP has highlighted and is wanting us to be future ready for the learners so that later on we don't regret that we could not perform our duties well, or maybe we would have been a better teacher than what we are. So the first thing which sir had spoken, and which is the most important thing for our empowerment, is the continuous professional development. So how do we go for continuous professional development? Through professional trainings. These could be offline, online, done by the CBSC, the one CBE ones, or by the school, or we together. For example, the external source, Extra Mile, is taking a lot of pains and is trying to make us bring at one platform. They are bringing us at one platform, making us like an agency, work with each other, learn through each other. And the most important thing is all involved are sharing their personal space with each other. So this is also counted. So I'll just explain, though all of you are aware, just reflecting back or review of what CBSC talks about CPDs. So CBSC has ruled out four things. They have floated 50 hours training, 24 hours directly by CBEs, and 25 hours by the school. So 50-50. The school itself can do a lot of trainings through mentorships, through peer trainings, through the what do we micro teaching sessions, and of course the class observations. These CPDs are also divided into categories to make us understand that it is not only curriculum where we have to focus. It is the holistic development of a teacher also. So it talks about core values and ethics. 12 hours in the complete session we have to spend in learning core values and ethics related to our profession. So these include 6 hours of training, of course, by CBSC, and 6 hours by the school. So 50-50 for the core values and ethics. It includes integrity, it includes correct assessment, it includes being non-judgmental, it includes inclusive education. So a lot of core values as a teacher, the ethics of me as a teacher. Then without knowledge, we are nowhere. No matter how much we have studied, but knowledge of delivering my content in the class, reaching to all types of learners and meeting their learning styles through my lesson plans is something which all of us have to definitely improve every year. There's no end to it. So knowledge and practice, that is for 24 hours. Here, CBSC has taken more share. CBSC expects that 16 hours should be through CBSC only, either offline or online trainings. These days, honestly speaking, online trainings from CBSC are not happening. Yes, of course, few programs, for example, these days they are into Buildathon. CBSC Viksit Bharat 2025 Buildathon is happening. So for that competition, a lot of orientation sessions are being taken up. So those sessions can be added if recorded by the school properly. So that means knowledge and practice, 24 hours, out of which 16 hours the CBSC is taking care of, and 8 are left for the school to take care of. Coming to professional growth and development, where research, mentoring, as we are right now conducting the session. So this is mentoring happening, of course, online one. So these kind of sessions can be added to it. So any academic learning, maybe you did some course. So those also include 14 hours of the training. Here, CBSE is little liberal. So 3 hours, the CBSE will take care, and rest 11 hours to the school has been left. To the person, basically, me as an individual, but I have to submit the proofs to my school to justify that 50 hours in the year have been spent on my my growth as a teacher. Then there are alternative CPD credit activities also. CBSE values our contribution to evaluation process. So all of us involved in exam duties or maybe some research projects, even if we are blogging, imagine any educational content or any online discussions towards CPD happening. That is our professional growth happening, and we are part of it. That is also counted. Again, I'll repeat, we need to have a proof of it. The evidence has to be kept with us. That is why if you talk about these trainings also, which Extra Mile conducts, attending those sessions is good, very good. That's greater part of these organizers, that they don't stop us from coming and attending the sessions. But if we want it to be valued by others also, we need to go for the certificate. Small payment for the certificate, but that adds to our learning and, of course, recording the evidence. So CBSE is again and again telling us that strict compliance has to be there. The schools have to pay hefty amount as penalty. And of course, it can then come to teachers, the ones who are not interested in taking trainings. The beautiful part is there won't be any salary deduction in case we attend the CBSE trainings. We are considered as unofficial duty. So let's learn and continue learning. Going back to the second feature, key component of teacher empowerment, that is adaptive teaching. The word itself says adaptive. Adapt is to change with the time. So if we talk about us, when we were students, we were wearing different uniforms. We had two plaits. We were not applying makeup. But when we became teachers, we started changing ourselves. If I talk about schools also, earlier we were more bilingual. Now we are moving to English or the language. Then NEP is allowing regional language also. So all of us have started learning regional languages, the ones who are not equipped with. So this is, we are adapting to the teaching. So what is adaptive teaching? I'm just bringing out the theoretical part of it. I have already spoken this so that all of us can jot down. I'll be happy if you can jot down few points for you so that you can be the mentors in your school and take up these topics. So as teachers, we must adjust to new challenges. We all did wonderfully well in the times of COVID. Then this Parali break, whenever we go online, so we are able to now easily pick it up. So that we adapted ourselves that time. So that kind of teaching, we learned how to present PPTs, how to convert Word documents into PDF so that we can send to students, how to add voice over or the videos incorporation in the PPTs, how to add the picture storytelling happening, all those boards we used, that is only adaptive teaching. So now when I am using a resource book, that is also adaptive teaching. So new challenges when I'm ready for that. New curriculum, the syllabus is about to change this year for 6th and 8th. It has already changed. So the teachers must have to adopt because they already had a lot of content with them. So this time they had to change their lesson planning. They had to plan the complete structure altogether. So this is adaptive. So students' requirements, it depends. I know there are variety of learners, but still, what is the requirement of my class, which I am taking up? So accordingly, if I tweak my teaching, I change the plan. In some sections, I might be a little fast because the response is quick, but there are sections where maybe I will require more of activity-based learning so that my students can grasp it. So that is adaptive teaching. So definitely all that I've spoken comes as innovation. We changed, we created, and this is all the flexible strategies which we involve in our teaching, and then we become adaptive teachers. Going to the third part, which we speak a lot these days, and we as a schools boast most about it, that we are the schools which are focusing on experiential learning. We have inclusive teaching, but let's reflect back. Do we really have it? So when I talk about focus on experiential learning, experiential, the word itself says hands-on experiences. When my students are experimenting in mathematics, they're not just cramming the formulas, they're reaching to the root and framing the formulas, understanding why the formula has to be this. In languages, when they're able to write reports on their own or maybe a paragraph, this is experiential learning. When they can hold the mic, they can be the host, they can write the script. This is what I have equipped my students with through experiential learning. So this should be an ongoing process. Every lesson plan should include these things. Inclusive teaching, it does not only talk about the slow learners. It talks about variety of learning styles. Do I have more of auditory learners? How many are the visual learners? How are most of them are these days blended ones? So who is the one who has the visual memory fast, who can be very quick in formulating jingles? So how creative my students are, sorry, and how do I blend that into my teaching? So do I really care for all my learners, or am I focused only on the ones who keep responding to my class? So I'll be a winner as a teacher. I'll be content, happier, the happiest one, if I'm able to reach to all types of students and I see my teachings reflected in their performance during tests or maybe while responding in the class. Any questions here? I would like to hold, because this that does not become an interactive session and I'm speaking. So is there any question or any addition? Anybody who would like to add to it if I have missed anything? Please give me a thumbs up if I can go ahead without any pause here. Please use reactions. Thumb. Thank you, Ashwini ji. Thank you so much. So there's no question to it. That's great. Do I see it that others are mesmerized, or shall I see it that others are still confused whether they should tell me to repeat something or not? Monisha ma'am is smiling, so I think she is not wanting it to pause. So let's continue. Now, the most important thing, which is the powerhouse of our training today, reflective teaching, the fourth one. I'll take you to a shorter video, a small video. Definitely, we'll be picking up the contents from it. But between, please jot down few things in case you want to talk on those or maybe use them somewhere. Is there anything in chat for me? No. Thank you. So I move on to the video now. These I've broken in two parts, so we'll continue.
Reflective teaching is a process where teachers
Sorry, is it visible?
foster continuous personal
No, video is not visible.
by critically
Not
examining their
visible.
teaching
I'll share it.
Educators can identify areas of strength and opportunities for improvement. The concept of reflective teaching is reflective teaching is a
You have
process
to do whole screen sharing. You have to stop the
Handy, sir.
sharing.
foster continuous personal and professional growth. By critically examining their teaching experiences,
I am
educators
just
can identify areas of strength and opportunities for improvement. The
stopping.
concept of reflective teaching is reflective teaching.
Why isn't it available? I'm just bringing it, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Reflective teaching is a process where teachers analyze their own educational practices.
Same
to
thing.
foster-
Is it not audible yet?
Audio is there. Video we cannot see because the whole screen is not shared. Only the PPT part is shared. That's a.
So without shared whole screen. Microsoft PowerPoint entire screen.
The entire screen you have to do it.
I haven't downloaded it. So why will the entire screen be required for that?
Because this will be open in another window, another tab, because you are directly playing from the YouTube, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that window you have to show. So the entire screen sharing will be fine
Perfect.
till
Uh,
you are on the PPT part.
Hanji. Shall I now?
No, still on the previous.
Reflective teaching is a process where
Still on the previous one?
Yes. No, it's coming. Now it's fine.
It's
Now you
there,
can play from the beginning. Yeah, play from the beginning.
Hanji.
reflective
Yes.
teaching is a process where teachers analyze their educational practices to foster continuous personal and professional growth.
See, so we have to analyze our educational practices on a continuous basis. Continuous is I teach today, and whenever I get time, I have a free period, I have to reflect that very moment. That, for example, I went to 10B. So, what was the response? How many were able to grasp? What were their expressions? I, as a teacher, can read them well. And this will be reflected to continuous professional and personal growth. So the analysis will help me that whether, okay, I learned this in that training, let me try to adopt that. Maybe I tweak it, maybe I break the topic into n number of parts. Now it has to be 7, 8 parts. It is not working in one part. This is analysis. So how do I analyze? I'll be discussing the tools also again. Every time as a teacher, pen and paper is my companion. That we have to remember. So no matter how digitally strong I become, we all need to jot down the things reflecting ourselves. So this is something I wanted to highlight again. That is why I am repeating.
Educational practices to foster continuous personal and professional growth. By critically examining their teaching experiences, educators can identify areas of strength and opportunities for improvement. The concept of reflective.
Now, when we say areas of strength and opportunities, all of us are very well aware of this word SWOT analysis. So what is SWOT? Strength, threats, opportunities. And W is weakness. So SWOT is something which we all need to remember, that we need to keep revisiting and trying to work on that. So what is reflective? Let me see what I taught today, how much I could cover in 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Was it that my all 100% students could make out? So learning outcomes assessed through recapitulation. But my introspection of my teaching will help me tweak it the next very moment. That is why. Then I can, in case I wish, I know I'm not digitally strong, but my students these days are. So definitely I'll have to go back and practice some digital tools, maybe through my peers, maybe from the students only. The students can become my mentors that time for digital learning. So what I'm trying to bring in is age does not matter. What matters is how open I am to tweak my learning. Now I'll be moving with this video. I will be talking on all those things which I spoke, observe. So I have to first observe myself. Then I have to analyze. After that, I have to change the things. That means experiment. Maybe this works, maybe that works. And then again reflect back. That this cycle will continue till the time I feel that my action has converted into the reaction or the response, the positive response for my learners. So now the other one, which talks about the tools. How do I reflect myself?
To engage in reflective teaching, educators can use various methods such as keeping reflective journals.
So when we say reflective journals, that's what I was talking about, that we can't be without pen and paper. So keep a diary. For you, it is your diary. Date-wise, class-wise, maintain it. You can have flags to divide the classes so that you can quickly reflect, okay, 7B, maybe I'm teaching the same content in 2 sections of 7th. The 7B, this was to be worked upon, but 7A needs something else. So it is not a formula which just goes and fits in every section. So I have to have a reflective journal, a diary where I note down, but this has to be daily lessons to be reflective. Then the second part talks about peer observation. I don't know, but unfortunately, as teachers, we are not open for peer observations. We don't want other teachers to come in our class and sit and observe us. Maybe we are afraid that they might be judgmental, but here this block has to be broken. We have to be open-minded. We have to come up. Rather, we should invite people. Maybe from the same subject, maybe from the other subjects also, because people will tell me where I was very good, so I'll be happy and I'll keep practicing that, and where I could have been better. And of course, we'll talk about this feedback also when somebody comes, how the feedback has to be. But peer observation plays an important role because sometimes we all believe I'm the best, I have 25 years of experience, or maybe 30 years, or 18 years, or blah, blah, whatever. So, but numbers won't work now. My learners are changing every year, and I'm also growing. Maybe I was a PRT, today I'm a PGT. Maybe I'm teaching in a college. So peer observation really plays an important role. Do invite them. Develop this culture in the school. I'm continuing with the video again.
Observations, student feedback. Reflective.
Now we have inhibitions about students' feedback. And I do understand we can't say as a teacher, I'm not asking you to go and say, "Maine acha padhaya, did I teach you well?" No. Ask questions informally or maybe formally, or give them, for example, what was the eureka moment of the class today? So they tell you, "Ma'am, this is something I really liked. I never needed to go back. I still remember that topic which you picked up like this." So that means you have to take feedback. Please take at some points written also. So give them some slips where they write what was the most impactful point or teaching style today, a thing which you taught, or maybe something where they struggled to understand, or they are asking for some repetition. And each child should give his or her feedback. So this will help. Taking feedback from 510, that means the selective one. Sampling is not required for this. And it will not take much time. You can have questionnaires also, just 3-4 sentences with ABCD, and you can just ask them to write ABCD, so that you as a teacher, again, when you go for your reflective journal, you can see their students, their feedback, and can work upon. The idea is that you be proud of you one day.
Journal allows teachers to record their observations, thoughts, and feelings about their teaching sessions soon after they occur, which helps in capturing immediate reactions and insights. Peer observation involves having a colleague observe a teaching session and provide feedback. This can offer new perspectives and insights that the teacher might not notice themselves. Additionally, gathering and analyzing student feedback through questionnaires or informal conversations can provide valuable information on how students perceive their learning environment and the teaching method to.
I hope I'm able to reach to the expectations, and everybody is now able to note it down, that what are the tools which we require. Shambhuji, thank you so much for being so quick and responding. This motivates. Thank you for understanding this. So tools are my journals. These are also, I believe, self-assessment. If you remember, CBSE long back brought peer assessment for student also, their reflection. So this all we should also practice. So one is I rate myself. For example, how was my voice modulation today? Was I energetic in the class? We also know in our hearts how we were today in the class. So that was I disturbed by something? Maybe I went to the office and got some negative feedback on something, or maybe a parent cribbing on something. And with that upset, I went to the class and maybe I wasn't able to deliver what I wanted. So all those things will make a difference. I understand you will all be coming up with the challenge. That where's the time? So please remember, time is ours. We have to just divide it, all of us. I hope, Salam sir, Biju sir, and others who have a long experience will agree to it that wherever we have reached today, it is only and only 75% of our reflection, because we were able to reflect on ourselves, and of course we adapted, and then we were open for the feedback from our peers, mentors, and this is what has brought us here. So
Very true,
now,
ma'am. Yesterday also I was, speaking to my teachers. Many of my teachers have joined about peer observations and feedback and all. They are very powerful tools.
that's good.
So that serves as, a reflection of our teaching. Thank you, ma'am, for bringing out this point. Thank you.
Sir, because generally what happens is we all believe training, we have all been trained. I've been teaching this subject for years, but trust me, a lot of learning. One of my colleagues, I saw her, she said ki, I do this chapter, there's this chapter interview in class 12. So children get bored, they feel ki the same thing is being spoken again and again, they feel so. So she says, I conducted an interview in the class. And then
Yes.
I made the students jot down the things. Just in humor only, I added humor to it and all, and they all remembered. This was mocking, ma'am, when you spoke on him. It was a humor. There was a sarcasm in your statement in that. Okay, so what did you know about him or her? So I got these things, but she said no, the person is this. So she explained all that. So this is something which I learned from her, and then I practiced that the same next year, of course, because I had already taught that chapter. So we all learn from each other, and that adds value to our learners' learning. So they are the important people for whom we are. Because of them, we are getting bread and butter. So let's value them. Moving, this all I've spoken, I'm again and again pointing these things because here we miss on one or the other thing. So how do I observe? Please video record some of your lessons if you are allowed to. Because when I take a session all alone, supposedly for the session I was practicing, I was totally different. But when I came on board, I'm a totally different person now. So it should not be a dummy. It has to be a real lesson. Please get yourself videographed. Trust me, at times, the only thing is my posture, which I see, and I believe the posture was very dull or it was distractive when I was, because I was taking places, I'm moving, I was more moving, so students were distracted for the important point. Where should my placement be? Should I be using chalk and duster more? When the video is being played, what is my role? So all those things, they help. So you can videograph your lessons, you can jot down few things. Please invite the peer members and even the seniors to come and observe your classes, not only when you have a lot of teaching aids with you, in general. So observation, yours and others, keep questioning yourself. We'll be coming up for this poll questions. So I'll be posting questions for the poll. I would request you to just write A, B, C, D, so that we can come up and understand that how can I question myself as a teacher. Then I've spoken about experiment reflection. So now the tools, we have already spoken on these, so I'll be a little fast. Just a humble request. Please raise your hand in case there's a query or request us through chat that you want yourself to be unmuted. Self-evaluation, rating yourself. My planning, my delivery, my voice modulation, my questioning, my speed. Did I allow students to speak up or was it me only? All these things we have already spoken. One thing I haven't spoken, action research. So action research is, there are few things which I will know. There are few things which I'll get back to people and take feedback from them. But there are few things still not working. So let's research and find out what more can be done to bring in the beauty in my teaching. So that is action, research, and then action. Come to that. So you'll have to make your action plan. Child-wise also sometimes. It takes time, but it will work. 1 year of pain and the fruits are unlimited. Till infinity, you'll be happy. Okay. Just a small, am I able to show my screen again? I think it's again missing.
Screen is visible.
Is a document being seen? Shambhu sir,
No,
thank
same
no,
school,
the
same
same.
screen.
It's okay. So there were actually reflective journal prompts were there. How? So what did I do for student-centered activity? All those things I was sharing. I'll share that document for others to pick it up in case they wish to. Okay. So we are here now moving to a case study just to uh, revisit. So I hope this is visible to all of us.
Same screen, ma'am. Yes, it has come. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So it's, if you see the comic strip, it says a teacher has something in her mind. She has planned the poetry lesson. She's going for a group activity in the class, and she has already planned. So she's very excited about that. So now she goes to the class, and then when she talks, it is on poetry appreciation, where literary devices are being used and the writing style, the narrative, the technique of writing is being appreciated. She's a middle school teacher. She gave group activity, and of course, there were open-ended questions for students too. Now, when the activity was happening in the class, she observed that the students who were confident were speaking, but a few confident students were only participating. They were not allowing the quieter ones. And the quieter ones were staying silent. So that means the purpose was getting futile. Now she was frustrated because she had the time constraint also. So she asked students to move quickly. And she had to go by her plan. Time, we understand. So this you see, let's move on quickly so we cover everything. So the idea is to cover the syllabus, just wrap it up. Now after the class, there were children, maybe a student who went to the teacher who had the courage to speak with her and said that we wanted to speak, ma'am, we wanted to contribute, but we could not. The speed, the pace at which the activity was happening wasn't supporting us. And of course, the students who were group leaders, they were not giving us time. Now she thinks, she sits back, she's taken the feedback from the student had come and already given her the feedback. And in the last block of the storyboard, you see that she's reflecting upon her teaching. So she feels that she planned well, but she needed to be slower. So she had to slow down and give everyone a voice. So this is her reflection. So now my poll will come. The questions, if you can see on the screen, the poll. I hope all of you can see. Poll questions. Pick up the first one for the planning. Now, if you were Miss Rena, what would you have done differently in planning this lesson, the group activity? Would you have assigned mixed ability groups? Or you would have prepared guiding questions for shy students? That means you would have given them the ready material. That is actually making them giving them the support, which I think is more dependable. Plan for both oral and written responses. You would have asked someone to write, or maybe you should have stick to your original plan only. You were right. So quickly, please post in the chat A, B, C, D for the planning part. Please be fast so that I can get responses. Let me just see. Okay, all of you, great. So we are on the right path. Most of you, all of you, the ones who have written A, the one who's written B is not wrong because that's our perspective. So when I say A, the point is that as a teacher, I believe that in the beginning only, I should have mixed the groups, the speakers, the writers, the expressors, uh, all those groups, so that actually this heterogeneous group helps more in group activities. Coming to the observation part, as a teacher, when we give activity, we are expected to observe. So during the class, what signals should Miss Rana have noticed? First is only the same voice is dominating, the quieter students disengaged, time rushing ahead, or all of the above. What is something which she should have observed for point number 2? Okay, I see mixture. I see a mix of it. D, B. D is the safer because it says all of the above. Okay. Okay, more of D. Okay. See, it all depends. How do we reflect? It can be the same voices dominating. But if I would have observed only the same voices dominating, I would have encouraged others, or maybe I would have engaged them in something else. Or I could have, I think the ground rules should have been set in the beginning only, that each participant has to contribute for the success of the activity. So of course, very good. She had to manage these, but time rushing ahead, she would have managed if she would have noticed all these two things. Good. Coming to modification. I'm happy the responses are very good. So now changes. If she would have to alter, if she would have noticed observation that would have been sharper then. So what approach she should have brought in? Pause and invite a quieter student to share, or she would have added a think, pair, share proof before whole group discussion. So that is think, pair, and then share. Or she would have given it written option first and then verbal sharing. What for the modification? Okay, so my audience are fast enough to respond. So modification again D. Okay, B. Okay, more are on it to be think, pair, share before whole group. Yes, we can do that. Pause and invite a quieter one. Yes, A and B, if that's good. Ajita ji. Ajita ji says she's still confused. Ramya ji says A. Fatima ji says D. I believe for the group activity, if we can avoid written option first and then verbal, because that will be definitely time consuming. So we know very well that we have to meet up to the expectations of the time also. Now, the last question, which is very important, is reflection. So what long-term change can Miss Rena integrate into future lessons? Should she incorporate varied participation techniques? She should build peer support systems or use feedback from quieter students regularly. Incorporate varied participation techniques. Marin G says B, build peer support system. Okay. For the group activities, if we make peer, then we have already announced that there are some who need support. But if we go for varied participation techniques, now what are the varied participation techniques? We ask people to maybe make flowchart, a pictorial representation, the craft activity, the spoken part, the designing. So that is varied participation techniques. So they can come up, then somebody comes and compiles and speaks. So that can also be done. In this, we might have to ask students to jot down also. But asking feedback from quieter students regularly for the future lessons definitely will work. But if I, in the beginning only, incorporate varied participation techniques in my class, I think I'll not have to go back to the quieter students. There won't be any quieter students. Shall we move ahead? So after this poll question, now the second part of our training, that is mentorship models in NEP 2022. NEP talks about mentorship. I had started in the beginning. I'll be taking up to all those points. One is group mentoring, as we are doing right now. Then there's peer mentoring, which we do in schools, where maybe the senior person trains the other person, maybe the HOD or the colleagues only. Amongst the colleagues, we divide. We are given the opportunity by the school only, or we ourselves generate that we train each other without hurting the sentiments of the other person. So my strengths are being shared with the other ones. Then distance or e-mentoring, again, the practice which we are doing right now is the e-mentoring system. In this e-mentoring also, there could be one-on-one or there could be the group one. It depends. So one-on-one is individuals. Here, the positive part is, I think both the people can be very open and speak with each other. But the most important thing here is the trust building. If you trust anybody, then only you'll be allowing the person to give you feedback. Then there's reverse mentoring. It's I train you and then you train me. So both of us, none of us has hesitation then, and there are no inhibitions. There is more openness in valuing each other's perspective then. Speed mentoring is altogether a different type of mentoring from all these mentorings. All these can happen through videos also. So offline and online both are. One-on-one can be offline and online also. Same peer. Now coming to the speed mentoring. Speed mentoring, ideally the perfect one is either in the offline mode or through breakout rooms in such activities as we are doing online. So what happens? There's one mentor only and others are the co-learners. So this mentor keeps moving from one desk to the other desk. In the offline mode or the online mode, there'll be a bell. So the person can move from one to the other. The person keeps giving them clues without uh, giving them the direct message, what is required. It's like not guiding or teaching. It's just telling, what if you do this? Did you notice this? Would you like to add here something? That kind of feedback. Rahina ji, you want to speak something? Rahina ji, you have raised your hand. You want to speak something? So can we allow
Yeah, I have asked her to unmute. I think she
Hanji?
has raised her hand to say that she agrees with you.
Okay, thank you, sir, because I'm not able to unmute. But she's
Okay.
not accepting our unmute direction.
Yes,
Thank you.
correct.
So now, again, a very simple way of understanding mentorship models, the word mentor, this all has come from the National Mission for Mentoring Teachers. NEP has brought in. And mentor, the word mentor means the person, the M, that is model best practices, somebody who models best practices. This does not mean there will be only one person. I have to identify what is best in me, or maybe my colleagues will do that, and I will keep mentoring them on that, and we all enrich each other and empower each other through that. Empathize. Please do not empathize is adding value. So go tell the person, understand the person's struggle and help. It could be the discipline of the class also. So instead of telling you should have managed the discipline, guide some activities where the person can engage students and can be able to utilize the time well. Please nurture the reflective habits in your colleagues and in yourself. Track the progress. So tracking progress after the journaling, all of us, the mentors and mentees should also journal, write somewhere and track the progress. So one lesson, of course, for this will again require observations. So one lesson, two lesson, three lessons. So how the person has grown with that. The conversation should be very open, not at all offensive or showing power or showing uh, the attitude, basically. This is not to demean somebody. And the one who is getting from the other should have resilience. Please reinforce the strengths. So, what is the strength that has to continue through the mentoring model? So, peer to peer, the informal peer, when we talk to our friends in the staff room or maybe casually and we share the best practices, again, we are building the capacity. Formal mentor mentee, we have discussed that's the structured guidance. There'll be a plan to it. So, how the person will be guiding, what all will be guided. So, there could be PowerPoint presentations, there could be written documents, a complete guidebook. There could be a session where we observe our colleagues or our mentors and then we imbibe those things. Definitely, these help us. The purpose for all these kind of trainings, formal mentor and mentees, professional growth and well-being. Then the community of practice, which is happening through extra miles right now, where on online forums, we are collectively learning. I, even as a mentor, is learning from all of you, and you all are learning from each other by observing each other also. Through this agency, we are coming together. Then the school leaders, the coordinators, the principals, the vice principals, maybe the management itself, or maybe they invite other mentors from outside. All those do the leadership coaching. There, this is coaching happening. So they'll give us techniques also. And the purpose is to, through feedback and supportive culture, we all grow and we all meet the learning outcomes, the expectations of all involved in the education system, even the parents. Now, I'm not saying as it is from my own experience or from my own thoughts. Whatever I've brought today is through research and data. So what is that data which says so? So the UNESCO 2021, when they did this this survey. So out of the survey, the result was that NEP had run a pilot program where they tried to see how reflective practice improvises the teaching methodology or how are the teachers empowered. So you'll not believe. The observation was during the pilot run, that 75% of the teachers in NEP pilots, they showed improved outcomes. The result is if your students, the learners for whom you're teaching, they grow, they have learned, they have understood what next I want. Nothing more than that. And definitely through reflective practices, student retention improved, their engagement in the class, they were responsive, they were jotting down the things, they were understanding, their assessment improved, and that had come to 30%. This is 2021, and we are in 2025. I just wish I had the current data with me. So we are on the right track. Coming from all we have discussed today is right now, I'll be moving ahead with furthermore things. We do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. John Dewey is very right, and very beautifully he has pointed out what we all have to take back. Now, coming to your school, your model, your planning. As teachers, you can take it back to the schools. And if we have the leaders, we are blessed already. So what all we have learned, reflection, mentorship, both coming together. The most important part is we learned, now let's implement it. So how do we implement it? There has to be a timeline. This is all an outline. Of course, you can tweak accordingly, but this is coming from experience, from the practice. So there has to be 5 phases of implementation of the reflective teaching and a reflective mentorship model. First phase is initial assessment. This is the assessment model where the learner, the teachers, they'll be understanding ourselves. This is awareness. So phase 1 initial assessment is awareness session where self-understanding and journaling will happen. So what will happen? Of course, we will do it through mentors also. First, me understanding myself. And during this 2 months process, I'll have some mentors who will not be formally telling anything. In informal conversations, in outside the class conversations, with the openness, they'll build that trust first. The mentors will build that trust with the teachers, and they'll share their stories or maybe somebody else's stories to help teacher reflect and be aware of her teaching style and where the teacher has to modulate or make amendments. Then comes phase 2, where the trainings, workshops related to reflection and mentorship should happen. So the mentors and the mentees both should be prepared through trainings and workshops. So here we'll use all those reflection tools and the feedback from the peers, the students, the parents, and the seniors, maybe the top management people. There has to be, for this application, there has to be guided dialogue and shared observation. So when we are learning, we should give the feedback. What is our takeaway, today's takeaway, that day's takeaway, those months' takeaways? So reflecting back again and again for our learning and responding or telling our mentors also so that they can continue with the practices or they can also amend their plan. So that shared observation is very important. This is called collaborative training, where we are professionally developing each other. It is continuous as well as collaborative. Now, okay, we have got trainings. Now is the time for implementation. So this has to be given 6 months time. All of us collaboratively, the mentors, mentees, the teachers, individually will go. There will be group reflections. So how will the group reflections happen? There'll be peer reviews. One-on-one has already been happening, had happened in the second phase. In the third phase, we have a group meeting where we tell the thing. Instead of telling all negative things, we can talk about all the best practices there. That this was something through the training happened, or maybe somebody brought in the class, which is picked by us, and we would like to continue. So now I'm coming to the part where tracking was being spoken. So let's track, keep it in a repository somewhere. All those good practices related to any subject can be put to other subjects also. So let's keep them in a repository and share. So this mentorship circle, this community learning, this is the partnership time. And this will help us review and modify. So phase 3 and phase 4 are blended phase. We have already implemented. Now we review and keep modifying. For that modification, we have to discuss somewhere. Last phase is the scale up phase. That means now it is the culture of the school, the reflection, the mentorship. So we have institutionalized these things. So reflection is embedded in the policy, mentorship networks, the models, the mentorship models, all are at place, and teachers, their leadership, all are moving to excellence. So how do we measure these successes? With the teacher retention. If the teachers are retaining our school, they're stable, they're satisfied. We see the positive environment in the school, and we see the openness for learning. That's the situation which tells us we are on the right track. Of course, the teachers are able to cover up those CPTs, 50 hours, because those will happen through peer reflection also. So we track the participation in the workshops and training sessions and monitor their growth and keep the engagement continued and appreciate the teachers for their efforts. So this data has to be kept recorded for further support. Then mentorship, we have discussed the partnership. So when we see people are open to mentor, the people are open to be mentored, that is the win-win situation when there is no inhibition and the culture of collaboration and peer support has begun. The teacher rushes to the other teacher and tells that, see, I practiced this and it really worked. Or maybe, sorry, dear, I practiced this. So before you use this activity in the class, please see your learners, or let's reflect back that it was a disaster in my class. So all those things, the openness in the culture, the warmth, and the this resilience for the feedback, whether it is telling me I have to improvise. So through induction and retention outcomes, we've already seen that the teachers have really become this resource for the school. It does not stop here. It is for the students also. So through the classroom observations, we can see how the students are improving, how they're strengthening themselves, which were the areas where the need of support was required, and it is given. How the teachers are reflecting, how is the dialogue happening in the classroom observation through peers as well as through the seniors, just the classroom observation, how the teacher has transitioned from one phase to the other phase. Students, they are the important, of course, the feature of our teaching. Our teaching is incomplete without them, rather it is for them only. So are they able to show the interest in the class? Are they participative, enthusiastic for my class? So how will I get to know all these things? So surveys, the attendance itself, of course, is a reflection, though unfortunately till class 8, attendance has marks. So the classroom behavior, if there's discipline, children are engaged, then it talks about our success. So this will all indicate how effective and inspiring the teaching was, the more the students are engaged in the classrooms. Students' achievements will, of course, improve their results. Learning outcomes are assessed through class tests, through the tests, unit tests, That is their periodic test, and then the exams, midterm, or the finals, where the more chunk is coming. So with that, those instructional practices, we can see whether we were able to. Now, when we see, we please must have then academic goals for the next year, and we should keep evaluating our program, whether we were able to reach to it. Coming to almost to the fag end of the PPT or the presentation or today's session, that is call for the action. So now what all we have understood, what is to be done? So just revising all those things, repeating with you, please jot down with yourself in your calendar of the year when you are planning for the next year. Please put times for these things: reflection, mentorship, that means which all trainings, which all topics, how the Saturdays where the teachers are coming, or the days when the students are not there in the school, how they'll be utilized for the growth. Repository, I had already spoken. We should keep all those recorded, the good practices, and of course the negative ones where we failed in the class, which did not work, should be kept somewhere, recorded in writing. For tracking tools, also, we should have digital tools. It saves time. If we can manage those, we should be conducting meetings, which we spoke about. The group reflections and peer review should happen. They can happen in small groups as subject meetings, and then they can also happen in larger groups. We should be always ready to support each other through phone, through text, through emails, so that nobody is left behind and we all go together. So all of us know very well that teaching is the greatest act of optimism. We have to be positive and never, never take feedback in a negative stride. I would be signing off for today with this last quote. I'm repeating it again. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. So my openness to learning is what takes me to sky. There won't be any limit, and I'll be the most content teacher. Thank you so much, everyone, for being participative, for being with me. Thank you once again, sir, for allowing me to share my learning with the peers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. In fact, it was a great learning. So thank you. It's very, demonstrative, experiential, and very authentic through research and all. You have come up with, lots of important points, very valid to everyone who is very keen on improving themselves to grow professionally. And I take this opportunity to thank and appreciate Dr. Dua for taking up this particular topic. And I think we have met our objectives, because I could see lots of participants were very keenly participating and learning. Many must have been observing and taking in notes. Especially we should appreciate those who have come on camera, and most experts, especially Mr. Shambhu there, who was writing each and every point of your presentation. So thank you, sir. Thank you, teachers and everybody, for joining. Well, if anybody has any questions, you can put it up on the chat box, or you can raise your hands. We'll unmute you. You can speak directly to the resource person. We'll be in a position to answer and clear your queries if you have anything. And the certificate link is posted in the chat box. And if you were talking about they did not receive last session certificate, we all sent the certificate on time. The only thing is we have to check your spam mail or promotion mail. Sometimes because of the security issues, it will be landing in your promotion mail, mostly in your promotion mail or spam mail. Please go to promotion mail folder or spam mail folder. The certificate must be there. And thank you so much, Ms. Mallika Sen. Mallika Sen is our, another resource person who has contributed a lot to Extra Mile, and Ms. Lata, who is, coming up with her topic next time. Patiyalam Lata ma'am, thank you so much. I think Lata ma'am has something to speak, something to ask. We are unmuting you if you can ask ma'am. Lata ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Dr. Rashmi Dua, for such a comprehensive and complete learning experience for us, for giving such a good presentation. My query regarding this peer observation, can you just give us some structure, how to make it, more effective? Can you templates or structure for that? Can you just throw some light on that, which will be helpful to implement in our schools?
Thank you, ma'am. So when we talk about peer, of course, my peer is not somebody who should give me negative feedbacks. So what I do, for example, as we started with journaling, so we jot down the points, we give them the MCQs also. They just have to rate us. So supposedly first question is my planning. Was it according to the time and my learner's ability? So I then write, okay, it was at a faster pace. The planning wasn't it was not complementing my content, or maybe the planning was just up to the mark. So only those grades. And later on, we can write one column for the remarks in the end, where the person can suggest also. So then plan all those areas, the delivery of the class. So my voice modulation, my pronunciation, then my pauses, because generally we are in a rush of completing the topic and we don't pause in between. So did I give the chance to students to reflect to their learning? These are all the things which my co-teacher, if says, maybe this will work better, because when I am delivering, I might not be able to even look back and find out those errors in me. So then the suggestive, for example, supposedly, I just picked up a video. So my peer can tell me whether that video was appropriate according to the time. If you see, the video which I picked up was of 3+ minutes. So I had to clip it. So if my peer tells me that this part could have been dropped from the video because this was stretching, so that will help. All those small things instead of, and of course, the person should start with the positive only. So when you are preparing the template also for the peer observation, please ask them to rate everything. And with those, write all positive statements only. This can be done rather than this wasn't done. So that will help. If you want, I'll share the sample with the sir, and sir can further share it with you, with the journal thing and the peer observations samples that can be used in the schools. That's good that somebody is so keen to practice it. This is my win-win situation today. Malika ma'am also wants to ask something. Am I able to satisfy your query, Latha ma'am? You can speak now, Latha ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you share it with us, we could
Definitely.
also.
I'll share with sir and sir will further share with you.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay, so Malika ma'am also has something to speak.
Yes, Ms. Pranik.
Malika ma'am, you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Biju, sir, and good evening, ma'am. It was a very enlightening session, and most of the things, we are already practicing, and more revision, as sir started with, and you also focused on the same point, that more and more revision makes us perfect, always, right? That's what we tell to the students as well. Talking about this reflective practices, like before the vacation, Durga Puja vacation, I also had conducted such sessions with English department, where the team sat together. It was a very positive classroom, I might say, where each and every teacher, they were told beforehand with a certain topic, and they presented for 10 to 15 minutes with the key highlights of how a class should be the best class. And as you said, the peer observations, first time they did, but it really worked. It really worked very good. And two columns were made where, first was the areas of improvement, and yes, the positive areas. So we say it as areas of improvement. But this practice, I got to know from one of my mentor in the previous school, where sir told, yes, yes, ma'am, like 6 years back, one of my mentor, he started it in his school, and from there I am bringing it to my school where I'm working right now. So this is how collaborative practices are going on, and they termed it as ITP, that is Intensive Development Program. Okay, they termed it like that. And surprisingly, I'm also bringing it in other schools as well. This means we have not forgotten it, right? So same thing, Rashmi ma'am, again you have highlighted, and I feel that we are on the right track. We are not
That's
lost in it. Okay, so thank you so much. Sorry, I'm not keeping my video on due to network
okay.
issues.
No,
Okay,
we
and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And ma'am, one more thing, one challenge that the teachers face, that is the time management. Like reflective practices are there, action plan is also there, but somewhere in these periods, or sometimes 5 periods, 7 periods, teachers always come and tell me that we could not manage the time and could not do that action plan which we thought of doing, and then time the session gets over. So how to do that? That's my question.
Ma'am, see, thank you so much for the beautiful thing is that it's already being practiced. Another thing is you have mentioned your mentor. So the beauty of our profession is this only, that we acknowledge the ones from whom we have learned and we continue
Yes.
with the practice. So the beautiful part, before I answer your question, one thing I would request you to create a repository also.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe it is on the shared drive, maybe the soft part, or maybe the videos being kept so that others can keep reflecting, because you did for English faculty, but what about science, social science, math?
Mm-hmm.
So we all can learn from
Yes,
each
yes.
other. So there
Okay.
won't be any repetition, then they can do something else. So micro teaching is
Yeah.
always good.
Yes,
Again,
ma'am.
I would add to it, micro teaching is happening in seclusion where we are the
Mm-hmm.
teachers only. So that can be a little
Yes.
informal also. So it's
Yeah.
or maybe the responses would be good because they are learners, they are the teachers. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever the peer learning or peer observation is happening, please let it be in the class, because
Okay.
that's the real one. In the
Mm.
beginning, that could be announced one where the colleague tells that I'll be coming to your class, or we invite the colleague. Then it should happen just like that, impromptu, because that will be the real observation or the real feedback to me. Now, coming to the time constraint thing, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
see, we are dealing with humans, we are humans. So, of course, it cannot be mechanized. There's no machine to it. But the more it is practiced, the more it will be saving on time. So, whenever we are preparing lesson plans, in those structure only, we can keep one column for reflection where we can just write a few points planning, because we have to create acronym also. So PodScope is the big one. We can
Mm.
talk about planning, then the delivery part, the planning
Yeah.
and the delivery, then the modification required or not. Only this much, as we say, na, the reflection. So if you see,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
generally, when coordinators go and observe, they write some remarks. So instead of
Yeah.
they remarking, why not I remark my learning? And believe
Mm-hmm.
me, the same day I know what I've done. Tomorrow, if you
Okay.
ask me, I will be always judgmental and I'll be positive. No, I was able to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
But the same day I
Correct.
know I wasn't good. In second period, what I taught, in the
Yes,
eighth
ma'am.
period, my energy levels were not that. So that's
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
reflection. So this is
Yes,
what.
ma'am.
So
Okay.
time is something, ma'am. Luckily, though I feel
Mm.
it unfortunate also, that if you see CBSE is reducing the syllabus like anything. So the time is only what happens. We do things in seclusion. For example, the group assessment. So we designate 3-4 days for that. If we do it during our classes only, group activity happens, my learning happens. Why don't I give topics to the students to prepare and present in the class? So this will
Yeah.
help me. I just have to scaffold instead of
Mm-hmm.
delivering the complete chapter. So time is already saved. See, inhibitions will keep happening. All of us, first of all, whenever supposedly we were struggling with time. So next time we'll manage how we can do it, but we should not stop with the practice. So whichever practice we stop, it never happens then. Gradually it
yes, ma'am.
vanishes from the system.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Malika ma'am. But trust
Yes,
me,
ma'am.
I have done these things and it works.
Yes, ma'am.
When I'm not able to write, I am never able to amend that chapter or that topic.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So ultimately, self-assessment is again the seed from where we can start.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the most important strengthening bond which we have in our hand.
Correct. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Malika ma'am. Very good, discussion and discourse. Thank you so much, Malika ma'am and Lata ma'am. And anybody, if anybody has any question or anything to be added from their experience, they are welcome. Otherwise, we'll go winding up this session. If you have anything to add on, you can respond with your digital hand raised, or you can put it up in the chat box.